Hello, welcome to Yoga with Lucy. Today's video is a short practice for beginners, for people who are new to yoga, or maybe returning to yoga after a bit of a break, or if you just want to slow things down, get back to basics. We're going to start lying down on our backs, so make your way there. If you need to grab anything to get yourself comfortable, just pause the video for a second and grab maybe a cushion or blanket, anything that you've got handy to make yourself really comfortable. We're going to start the practice lying down in whatever position feels comfortable for you, using whatever you need to get yourself comfortable. So if you want to lie with a pillow behind your head or a blanket on you, that's absolutely fine. Just get yourself to a point where you can find some stillness, where you feel comfortable to slow down for a moment. And I invite you to close your eyes here. And if you don't feel ready to do that, maybe you just lower or soften your gaze so you're looking down the bridge of your nose, but not really focusing on anything. You don't need to look at the video for this. I will guide you. I will tell you when it's time to move. But for now, we're just finding some stillness. And we're looking to start to cultivate a connection with the breath. So just deepening and lengthening the breath. Long, deep inhales. Slow, gentle exhales. And you might make that connection by bringing one or both hands to rest somewhere on the body where you can really feel the breath. So the belly or chest, where you can feel that rise and fall of the breath. And it's this connection with the breath that will guide us through our yoga practice. And as we start to move in a moment, I want to encourage you to find a connection as well with your body. So start now by noticing if you're holding tension anywhere. See if you can work towards letting that go so you can relax your body. Noticing as well if you've got any little aches or pains or niggles that you need to be aware of as we move through the practice. I'm going to do my best to give you different options for positions. But I do encourage you to make this practice yours, to move in a way that feels right for you. So establishing that connection with the body early on really helps with that. We'll just take a few more deep breaths here. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet to the mat. The knees are pointing up to the ceiling. Arms by your sides, and if you've got space, bring them out wide so your hands are reaching towards the sides of the room. And we're looking for a windscreen wiper kind of action with the legs here. So we're going to drop the knees down to one side and then up through center, drop them down to the other side. And we're continuing that movement, that kind of windscreen wiper, that tick-tock movement of the legs down to one side and the other. and immediately dropping into that connection with the body. Notice if it feels nice for you to go a bit slower or to speed things up a bit. Notice if it feels good to pause when your legs are dropped down to one side and take a breath or two, and then repeat on the other side. And we'll take a couple more breaths here. And the next time your knees drop down to the right, we're going to turn over onto our right side and make your way from here up to seated. Now you might automatically go to cross-legged because I have, or because you associate that pose with yoga. But if cross-legged isn't comfortable for you, feel free to kneel or sit with your legs out long or whatever works for you. And if you're new to yoga, I just want to acknowledge that sometimes sitting on the ground isn't the most comfortable thing. You might bring a cushion under your bottom just to lift the hips a little bit, make it a bit easier. And this ancient practice from India, the physical part of yoga, was originally designed so that people could sit for longer in meditation. So it is something that does get a little bit easier with practice. But for now, let's just bring a little bit of awareness to our seat. So whichever seated position you're in, start to think about lengthening through the spine, crown of the head reaching up to the ceiling. So you're sitting up nice and tall. And we'll take a twist to the right. So we're turning the body towards the right. You might bring your right hand behind you. And then your left hand to rest somewhere on the right leg. And bringing that length back in, that inhale to sit up tall. And on your exhale, you might be able to twist a little bit deeper. But we're not muscling into this. We're not trying to pull ourselves round. We're using the breath to guide us. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist. Take it to the other side. Twist into the left, lifting and lengthening as you inhale, and then maybe twisting a bit further as you exhale. You can use your hands to guide you, but we're not trying to pull ourselves round into this twist. Back to center. And moving with the breath is something that we do a lot in yoga. Each breath, one movement. So let's start that straight away, and we're going to start really, really slowly, showing you the 4 different positions we're going to do, and then we're going to match each one to a breath. So let's just start by reaching the arms up, really reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling, but not letting the shoulders come up to the ears, relaxing them down. Palms together. Our next position is bringing the hands down to heart center. This prayer position with the hands, Anjali Mudra. And we're pressing into the hands here. We're quite active. The elbows out to the sides. That lift in the chest. And we're going to deepen that length through the chest, that lift, by cactusing the arms. So you're making a kind of, cactus shape with the elbows bent and the chest lifted, and we might look up. And then we're reaching the arms forward, rounding a bit through the spine. So still sitting grounded down on the mat in whatever position you're sitting in, but reaching the hands forward and letting the shoulders come forward as well. Let's start to move with the breath. So we're inhaling to reach up, And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, open the arms, lift the chest. Exhale to reach forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, bring it forward. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale to round forward. Bring it back to center. You're sitting up nice and tall. And then you're going to make your way to all fours. There's no particular way that you need to get there, but just take your time. Again, bringing that mindful awareness to the body. Noticing whether you feel strong and stable here in this position. You can take some weight out of the wrists by pressing down into the fingertips, kind of clawing down into the mat. And we're pressing into the tops of the feet as well as the hands. We're just going to bring a little bit of a connection with the core here. So pressing into the hands, tuck the toes under, and just lift the kneecaps an inch or so off the mat, hovering tabletop, feeling that core connection, the core switch on for 3, 2, 1, and let it go. Untuck the toes. Bring the knees wide apart, bring the big toes to touch. And we're sinking the bottom back towards the heels. Forehead comes down towards the mat. It might not touch the mat. Maybe you bring that cushion or pillow if you've got one from before and bring it down to the mat here so that you can rest your head. And we're in child's pose, reaching the arms out long. There are several variations of child's pose. This is the one we're taking today. And this wide-legged child's pose feels a bit less restrictive, I think, than having your knees together. And just a little note on that, on the breath. If you're in a position, we do quite a lot of things where we're folding forwards, where we're creating a bit of compression here in the belly, the abdomen. If you have a bigger body and you're feeling that compression a lot, there are a lot of poses where you can widen your stance and give yourself a bit of extra space. Yoga is not one size fits all. There are things that you can do to adapt positions, to make yourself more comfortable in a position and to give yourself a bit more room to breathe. Let's bring ourselves back up to that tabletop position now. And we're going to move through some cat-cow stretches. So we're inhaling to drop the belly down towards the mat, lift the chest, look forward. And then as you exhale, we're tucking the tailbone under, we're arching the spine, pressing into the hands, chin to chest. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the chest, look forward. This is your cow position. And exhale to arch the spine. This is your cat, your angry cat, arching the spine. And we're moving between these two positions with the breath. And again, take this opportunity to connect with the body. Does one position feel really good? If so, maybe stay there for a breath or two. Do you feel like you want to add on some movement here? Maybe rock back and forth or side to side. Maybe a circling of the hips. Maybe coming back to that hovering tabletop again. Just find something that feels right for you. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. And then let's walk the hands back towards the body and come to kneeling at the bottom of the mat. Just to come off the wrists for a moment, you might give them a bit of a shake or a circle. And then we'll lift the hips up so you're kneeling at the bottom of the mat. You've got some space in front of you. We're going to be coming to a low lunge, so that's stepping the right foot to the top of the mat. If you want to bring your hands down to do that, you can. If you feel like you're quite balanced here, you might just step the right foot forward. Get here in your own way. And we're thinking about squaring the hips off a little bit here, so hip bones shining towards the front of the room. Nice and strong in both legs. Sinking maybe a little bit deeper into that front leg. Sweeping the arms up. If you feel really wobbly here, if you feel a bit unstable, you might widen your base by walking that front foot out to the side. Just give yourself a bit of a wider, more stable base. If you're feeling like you want to make this a bit more challenging, a bit more active, you might tuck the back toes and lift the back knee to a high lunge. Just an option. Wherever you are, take a deep breath. We're going to bring the left hand down to the mat and the right hand reaching up to the ceiling. If it doesn't matter here whether you've got your back knee lowered or lifted, maybe you try both, see which feels best. And then we'll bring that right hand down to the mat. If your back knee is lifted, gently lower it down, step back to all fours. Walk the hands back towards the mat, towards the body, and rise up to kneeling. This time we're stepping forward with the left foot. Again, you can do this from all fours, stepping the foot forward, giving it a bit of a shuffle if it doesn't get there. And when you're ready, meeting in that lunge, fingertips pointing up to the ceiling. But again, we're not letting the shoulders rise up around the ears. We're reaching, but we're relaxing the shoulders down. Again, you've got the option to tuck the back toes, to lift the back knee. Wherever you are, take a deep breath. And then right hand comes down to the mat, left hand reaches up to the ceiling. I'm going to do this one with my back knee lowered. Take a breath here. Left hand comes down, lower the back knee if it's lifted, step back to all fours. I'm going to give you a little transition to bring yourself back to all fours if that's where you're going. If your preferred seat isn't all fours, make your way however you want to seated. We're going to cross one ankle over the other, widen the knees a little bit, walk the hands back, and then sit your bottom back into that space. If that little transition isn't for you, make your way to seated however works for you. And this is where we're going to close the practice. So get comfortable. And if that's lying back down, you can lie back down. If that's coming back to that child's pose, take child's pose. If you're happy here seated, and this is where we'll close the practice with some deep breaths, closing down the eyes or lowering the gaze. And let's all take a really deep inhale. Sigh it out. And again. One more time. And this is where I'm ending the video. If you're really comfortable and you want to stay where you are, maybe just reach over and press pause, or turn the telly off if you've got this on the telly, and just embrace that stillness and that connection with the breath. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be filming some more beginners yoga videos where we explore a few more poses in depth, and where we explore a bit more that mind-body connection and some breath work. So maybe subscribe or follow me on Instagram, where I put up notifications every time I've posted a new video. And I hope to see you again here soon. Thank you.